Well, Bitcoin still isn't 50,000, so here goes crypto cold plunge number 19. Hey everyone, HeeVee here. Last night, Bitcoin resumed its bull run, crossing over 40,000 for the first time in about 3 weeks. Today, I will be running an analysis, looking at the charts and news to try to figure out what's fueling this bull run and where this thing might go. Bitcoin Bob tells us the current... What was that, Bitcoin Bob? Bitcoin Bob says the pool is currently 48 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and the air temperature is 38. So if we start out with the Bitcoin chart, we can see the last time it hit 40,000 was on January 14th. It's currently February 6th, so that's like 3 weeks of time that it's spent below there. And in that time, we can see that it traded within the range of 40,000 to about 29,000. It tried to make a few runs, but there was some resistance at about 38.5 and then lower around the 34 level that it just couldn't surpass. However, recently, if we look, we can see that on relatively low volume, we have begun this ferocious uptrend with a little bit of consolidation and then a continuation. So right now we're sitting up at about 40,350. If we come back to early January when we were seeing that new price discovery, there was a lot of sideways action around the 41,000 level, plus or minus about 500 to 1,000. So we can see right now we're approaching some pretty significant resistance. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, we will really need to keep our eye on this thing, because if we can also start to move sideways around the 40,500 or 41,000 level, this is great news, and it could be indicative of new price discovery in the coming days or possibly weeks. Now that we've done our technical analysis of the chart, which looks pretty good but needs a little more development, it's now time to take a look at the news for Bitcoin. If we come over to Cointelegraph, we can see this really nice chart posted by Joseph Young. So the first line, the red one, shows wallets that hold 10 to 100 Bitcoins. The purple line shows wallets that hold 1 to 10 Bitcoins, so those would be small buyers. And then the yellow line shows whale buyers, which would be 100 up to infinity Bitcoins. Meanwhile, we can see the small wallets, which would be people like myself, and then the whale wallets, which would be people like MicroStrategy and these large institutions and corporations, have steadily been increasing, especially those whales. We can see the yellow line, as the price of Bitcoin has increased, the yellow line has also increased. So this tells us that the whale buyers have been largely fueling the Bitcoin rally. And especially as of late, if we look in the past few days, you can see that little inflection point right there. Given that institutions have been largely responsible for the Bitcoin rally, we can see that with those little inflection points and that number continuing to increase, this is good news and a good omen for the future price action of Bitcoin. Also, according to Guy Hirsch, who is the managing director at eToro, he says there's a lot of open interest in the options market around $52,000 to $56,000. Additionally, I mentioned about 2 weeks ago that Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy would be putting on a summit about how corporations can get into Bitcoin. That was on February 2nd, I believe. And we can see that on February 6th, today, just 4 days later, Bitcoin has pushed over $40,000. So he had pitched Bitcoin to over 1,400 companies. Coincidence? We'll see. I'm not sure. But this correlational data is pretty helpful to look at. And then we will end on this last nice little prediction here. We see if Bitcoin can break the all-time high above the 42,000 level, then that should propel it up to 50,000. This is good news for those of you that have been watching the cold plunge every day until Bitcoin 50K. Because that's our price target, baby. So Bitcoin 50K, who knows, might be coming in the future. I'd like to hit 31 days of cold plunging before we get to 50K, but it's out of my control. And that does it for another episode of Cold Plunge Every Day until Bitcoin 50K. I think we have a few bullish indicators that, fingers crossed, will help to propel us hopefully up to 50,000 in the next few days or the next couple weeks. But until then, you know I will continue to bring you the content. HeeVee is your #1 source for cryptocurrency news, technical analysis, and cold plunge entertainment. As always, if there's anything you want to say, or if there's something I missed, or you want me to cover something, please drop a comment down below. I'd love to answer it. And I just wanted to thank you all for stopping by today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.